Hello everyone and welcome back to another CodeSTARS video. Today we are once again jumping into another Resident Evil Village DLC video. We're going to be discussing the possibility of mercenaries and prequel events. So to jump right into the first topic, mercenaries. Now, Mercenaries was brought back in Resident Evil Village. Everyone was hyped for it. I know myself and David were super hyped for the Village Mercenaries because we're such fans of previous installments, whether it be Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, and even Resident Evil 6 has really good Mercenaries mode. Resident Evil 8 wasn't terrible, but once you've got them S ranks and you've unlocked what you need to unlock, there's no reason to play it. It's not a game where you want to go back and get a high score. It is very much a one and done sort of thing. Once you're done with it, you don't go back to it like you do with previous installments of Mercenaries. So talking about the possibility of Mercenaries being a DLC, of course it definitely is possible. There is a possibility that this 7-month wait could be for an extra Mercenaries mode in some way, whether it be maps, characters, whatever the case may be.
I mean, yeah, Mercenaries mode DLC, definitely possible, but after 7-month wait, it would be extremely disappointing, wouldn't it? There has been no news, hints whatsoever with this DLC for Village. They could just panic and release the Mercenaries DLC.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty worrying, you know, it's been 7 months, we haven't heard anything, like literally anything about the DLC, what it could be, no hints or anything. It makes you wonder, do Capcom even know what they're going to do yet? It could be a case of them seeing the popularity of Village and just rushing to put out a DLC. That could be the case. And, you know, Capcom have done this before. They've scrapped ideas before. Reverse is one of them. I know it hasn't officially been scrapped, but let's be real, guys, Reverse is never coming. I highly doubt that's ever coming. It's been delayed like 3 times now and there's still no news on it. So I think it could be a case of that, or maybe for 7 months they've just been working on Mercenaries. I have no idea, but I highly doubt they are true. Like, I don't think that is the case. I'm just putting out there because it is a possibility, of course.
It'd be an easy choice for them to put out.
Yeah, it would be, but as you said, it'd be extremely disappointing, and I don't think absolutely anyone within the Resident Evil community would like that. Like, I can confidently speak on everyone's behalf when I say that no one wants that. I haven't actually seen anyone heavily praise the Village Mercenaries. A lot of people do like it, don't get me wrong, I like it, but it's not something to be in awe over, you know what I mean? So we just wanted to quickly go over that first topic. I very highly doubt it, but it is a possibility.
Now, next up is an interesting one. What if the DLC for Village is a prequel DLC? A prequel to the Village, where you play as a villager or maid, and it could be very similar to Clancy's DLCs in Resident Evil 7, where you play different scenarios that take place before Ethan arrives, or potentially even as a character from way back in time during the foundation of the Village.
Yeah, I personally really like the idea of this, and there is some stuff to back this up as well, much like the Ada DLC that we spoke about in a previous video, and how there was a concept art of Ada and how they could work her into the game and whatnot. There is that for a prequel to the Village too. If you look at this screenshot here, you can see how they're going to go about Village originally. Their concept were to have modern day Ethan going through the village and doing what he's doing, but having segments throughout the game show you playing as a character from way back in like the medieval times, involving swords and stuff like that, where you get to see, I guess, the foundation of the village and the origins of the actual Umbrella logo, and maybe the origins of the Megamycete itself. Like, they were going to explore that, and I don't believe there's any explanation as to why they didn't go down that route. I'm guessing number one is either that it didn't feel like Resident Evil, because going back to like knights and stuff, medieval times and such, it doesn't really seem Resident Evil like, but I reckon it could have been done. Or number two, it would have been just too disorientating to go from modern day Ethan to way back to medieval times playing as a random character. Like, I guess it's one of those two reasons. If there has been a reason that we just don't know about, then leave it in the comments below, but from my research, I'm pretty sure there's no reason as to why they scrapped this. And the good thing about Capcom is they never truly discard ideas. There's some stuff in Village that was meant to be put in Resident Evil 4, the original build of Resident Evil 4 way back, and because it didn't work in Resident Evil 4, they changed the whole idea, but they've recently put some of those concepts in Resident Evil Village, and I believe it was the stuff with House Beneviento, with all the dolls and, you know, more of a psychological take on things. That's the good thing about Capcom. So they do go back to their concepts and their concept art and stuff like that, and they do revive those ideas. So it is definitely a possibility that this DLC could be showing the origins of the Umbrella logo, of the village itself, and of the Megamycete. And in my opinion, that is very crucial story stuff that they could go into. It's not stuff we need to know because it dates way back. It's not really relevant to anything, but it'd still be cool to see and still be worth exploring, and it would also have a lot of gameplay mechanics with like swords and stuff that could be really cool.
Yeah, because the Umbrella logo and the Megamycete, they're still mysterious. We don't have the answers to those things coming out of Resident Evil Village. It would be cool to explore that and know about it, and if there was any time to explore that, it would be now.
And in regards to more prequel stuff, so as you mentioned, where you play as a villager or a maid, similar to the Maiden demo, you're playing as a maid who eventually gets caught and whatnot. It could be as simple as a villager who gets maybe a bit too curious, starts looking into things or something like that, and you end up doing a bunch of, you know, mini games that is canon to the story of Resident Evil Village, and it could sort of go on from there. Or maybe even a whole scenario, maybe not even mini games, maybe a scenario where you get to know a villager, you get to play as a villager who's uncovering some stuff that we didn't quite learn in Resident Evil Village, and then, as I said, it goes from there. Like, that could be really cool. I really like the idea of prequel DLC. I absolutely loved it in Resident Evil 7, and I would absolutely love it in Resident Evil Village. I personally really like the idea of going back to medieval times. I know that's probably a unpopular opinion, and it doesn't sound very Resident Evil because it doesn't, but it could work, you know? I mean, what is Resident Evil? Resident Evil has evolved so much throughout the years. It's not really one thing anymore. Capcom have sort of proven that they're the jack of all trades. They could do anything. They can make Resident Evil interesting in any way, whether it be first person, over the shoulder, fixed camera angles. They could do anything. I 100% trust them with something like that.
It would still stick to its horror roots. It would just be back in medieval times. Wouldn't be much of a change.
So yeah, those are our thoughts for the Mercenaries or prequel DLC for the Resident Evil 8 Village DLC that's coming up. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below, whether you'd like a medieval DLC, whether you'd actually be happy with Mercenaries, whether you don't want any and you want something else. Leave that down below in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, and of course subscribe if you're a fan of Resident Evil and Resident Evil content, because we have a bunch of ideas for this channel and the possibilities honestly are endless. So we hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, cheers for watching.